Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we are going to have a look at Linux Lite. They had just released a new release a few days ago. This is 7.8, and we've had a look at Linux Lite in the past, but I want to just do a brief overview, bring you up to speed with it, and we did actually get a question on the comments a couple days ago asking how to add Flatpak support. So we're going to do that near the end of the video. So this is to you who asked for Flatpak support. But before we get into there, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Linux Lite and what it is and all that fun jazzy stuff. So of course you can notice we're on Google Chrome. Why would they do this to us? They do default to Google Chrome as the default web browser. And a lot of that, I think, is what their basic philosophy is here is a Linux system that is familiar in many ways. So it has access, easy access to install a lot of software many people in the mainstream might want to use already. And so that kind of is their philosophy. And so they give us Google Chrome. We also have repositories already enabled to add Firefox if that is your preference as well. And there are a number of other tools that you can download into the system quite easily. So it is designed to be fast, simple, and user-friendly. And from our look over here, now we are screen recording now, so it's running at 2 gigs. But it was running about 1 gig of memory when I first launched the system up before running a bunch of other things. Of course, we have Chrome running as well as screen recording and things like that. But overall, this is a system that gives us a very lightweight system. It feels like a full operating system. There's a lot of useful tools. And ultimately, it is a system that works very remarkably well. Now, it starts out with this welcome screen here. Let me go back to the beginning. So over here, we have access to the source code, a bunch of other ways to contribute to them. We have a bunch of support. So they have a big forum. They have a hardware database. They have documents on UEFI, secure boot, things like that. And as far as once you get the system set up, you want to walk through these to look at your various options. So they do have a nice tool down here that will check for your updates and things. And here is your refreshing the cache. You can do it never if you don't want to hear about updates, which would put it down to manually. And then you can set your update frequency. And then this is what the command is there. If you click on this, it's going to open up the update tool here, and I've already updated the system, but just kind of show you how it works. You just come in here, enter your password, and then it will do its thing here, and then if there's any updates to do, it's going to update it. Like I said, I updated that right after I installed the system last night. We have a driver tool as well. And this is with the Ubuntu software update package. So there's the Ubuntu Pro stuff over there. Here's your developer options, additional drivers, which there are not any on this. I'm running this on my MSI laptop. And here is authentication. So you can see the Google. That's fine. I just got to make fun of it, you know. Here's again where you can do your update checks here as well. So you can adjust that over there. This here is what gives us the extra repositories. So you see that we have the Google Chrome repository. If you are completely against Google Chrome, and if I were personally using this as my daily driver, I would uninstall Google Chrome and then just uncheck this box here, and that will remove Google's repository from the system. And that way, if we uncheck it here, it will never check for updates. So of course, if you are keeping Google Chrome on here, you do want to keep that up to date. But that is what they did. So they added that as a separate item, recognizing some people may not want that on their system. Notice that they also gave us the official Ubuntu PPA. Now, I went ahead and installed Firefox on this just to double check, because remember, in a regular Ubuntu system, it installs the Firefox browser through Snap. And I wanted to double check, make sure that that was working, that if you wanted to install Firefox, you're not getting the Snap version. And indeed, that is correct. And we can always test that by having a look over here in the terminal and do a Snap list. And you'll see that Snap is not even installed. So while it's based on Ubuntu, it does not have Snaps installed, but neither does it have Flatpak installed. And so it goes with just that. Now, the third repository is their own repository, which adds any of the extra software, these individual tools, well, not this one, this is Ubuntu, but the Linux Lite specific tools, and it will add some of the other software out there for you to have. So we're just going to go ahead and close that. All right, then you can set a restore point. So this uses time shift, which is going to, I didn't mean to push that button. It's going to be in the menu over here. So here's your system restore utility. Let me go ahead and pull everything back up there. Not that one. I want to minimize that one. There you go. All right. So you can do that. And then here is your language support. It kind of defaults to whatever language you set it up at. Obviously, I did English. It does have here the statement on UEFI and Secure Boot. And it does walk you through how to test for that. And it does recommend to turn Secure Boot off, although it will work with Secure Boot turned on. So one of the things to think about that is, okay, it's telling us to look in your Windows search on this system that I've already installed. Well, yeah, that is a little quirk of it. Is this screen is the same screen on the live versus on the installed. So you will see the same screen no matter which way. You can choose a light theme or a dark theme. The light theme is the default. So this is what the light theme looks like. If you want the dark theme, you can do that. You see things went dark theme. So you can choose whichever way you like. I'm just going to keep it on the light theme for now. Here's some keyboard number lock stuff. If you are on a previous version of 7, you can just upgrade to 7.8. And then notice over here that you can install a lot of, these are those common tools we're talking about. You know, Zoom, you have your Spotify, you have your Dropbox or TeamViewer. You also have other useful tools like the Tor web browser. There's Steam, there's my good buddy Cody, and Firefox is already set up. So they have their own individual software manager, which, like MX Linux and a few other distros out there, have the most common software available to install easily from here. But we do lack a true GUI package manager in this system. That is one of the things to keep in mind. So just click the install software, and then it will give us a list of all the most common software it has here. So here's Wine, here's your Zoom, VirtualBox, there's your Tor web browser, here's your Spotify. So you can just click on anything that you want to install from here, but it's not fully comprehensive. It doesn't have absolutely every piece of software. Let's see, is Kdenlive is in there. Okay, so we'll find Kdenlive, but it doesn't find things like the Bluefish editor, which is what I use, although we could install that through the terminal. So we have in this is the most common Linux software, but it doesn't have everything. We do have one package manager to get us that, and that is it does come with the Synaptic Package Manager over here. So that really is your other option for getting that any software. So again, back to that Bluefish, which is what I use for editing websites and such. You know, it is available to install. It just doesn't show up in that main package installer. So that is where we have on our basic system. And then let's just have a brief look at what we have. So here's your computer files. This is the various settings items. And then you'll notice that there are a few specific Linux Lite tools in here. So these are the ones that come from their repository. So you can tweak and clean your system. So this tool here, boot up fix. We have removes cache from your Chrome. All right. We can clear your memory, set your default web browser. So, you know, if you want to do this, it's going to look for these. I'm going to default that to Firefox. So that's how easy it is to do that. And then you can kind of change all of the other items in here. So this is a very nice option here. So there you go. Let's have a look at this. Let's authenticate there, and then checking status. Do you want your number lock enabled at login or disabled at login? So you actually have the nice options here to do simple things like this that can sometimes be a little bit daunting for some people. So that is actually a really nice feature that is built in. Let's go ahead and see what other tools we have. This is the software, the auto login, select or deselect desktop icons, just a number of different light. Anything here with LITE are items that come specifically from their repository for the for the system to work. And then under accessories, you see we have the full suite. You have file backups, calculators, archive manager, fonts, file search, basic text editor, USB writers, formatters. We have GIMP pre-installed. We have Paint. We have photo. There's 2 photo managers there. I'm not sure if those are 2 different programs or not, or if it's in there twice. I added Firefox. It comes default with Google Chrome. We have Thunderbird by default. And then multimedia, I also added Simple Screen Recorder to record this. Comes with VLC, and then there's managing your system sounds. And then for our office, we have the database, spreadsheet, drawing presentation. So we have the full suite of LibreOffice in here as well out of the box. And then under our system, here's your package manager. This one's the Synaptic one. We have drive partitioners, printers, system monitors, restore points, and things like that. So it is a full and complete system. First, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Google Chrome there, though. Let's go ahead and close all these windows out here, and then we're going to go into Firefox, because the next part, what we want to do is we want to talk about Flatpak. So some distributions are going with this. No, Firefox, don't give me your crap. Many distributions right now are shipping with Flatpak because it is a lot more of a free option than is Snap, and it is something that they're not trying to build this massive software library. They are doing a little bit better steps to make sure things are working correctly. And it looks like I might need to fix my internet. Hold on a second. Nope, we just had a temporary internet bug. All right, so installing Flatpak on pretty much any distribution is quite easy. The best thing you want to do is you want to start by going over to flatpak.org. And flatpak.org is going to simply click the Get Set Up button, and then you want to pick your distribution type here. So landing over here on this tool here, you can see that there's already easy instructions for a lot of different distributions. So I run an Endeavor OS, for example. So here is your basic script here. This is going to update your Arch system. This is going to be installing the Flatpak. This is going to add the repository. And now there may not be any form of graphical installer. Okay, that's kind of fine. We're going to talk about that in a moment. MX Linux, I have MX Linux running. This is actually built in, so you don't really have to do anything else with that. Linux Mint is already built in. There's nothing you need to do, obviously. We are running Ubuntu based, but you'll notice here this says install Flatpak and then install the GNOME software plugin and add the remote, and then boom, you just have to install apps. Well, if you tried to do this on Linux Lite, it wouldn't work. Very simple reason that Ubuntu uses the GNOME software store, and the Linux Lite here does not have that. So I'm going to talk about there's a couple different ways you can do this. We'll go ahead and talk about a couple different ways. So what I'm actually going to do is you want to do the basic systems of simply setting up Flatpak, and you need to add a remote. So we're going to start with that. Let's go ahead and go down to what Endeavor says. So obviously we're not running Pacman, but the principle is this. We're going to install the Flatpak and make sure Flatpak is installed. And then we need to add a repository, a remote, what they're called here, the FlatHub repository. We're going to add this remote, and then this is going to allow us to install Flatpaks from your system. So let's go ahead and use this general principle. Obviously, we cannot use these scripts because Linux Lite uses a different system. So what we're going to do here is sudo apt install Flatpak. All right, if you're scared of the terminal, don't be scared of it. Most distributions, you don't need to do things like this. Linux Lite just doesn't give us a good way to add the Flatpak support. Let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to enter your password, and I'm going to say yes, we're going to install that. So it's going to connect out, and it's going to install our Flatpak. So now that Flatpak is installed, we have to add a remote. So this command here is going to be the exact same command no matter if you are on Arch or if you are on Ubuntu or any other system, because it's calling the Flatpak command to add a remote. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it in. Remember, to paste in a terminal, it's Control-Shift-V. Going to do this, and then it's going to ask for authentication, and then we're going to set that. So now we have Flatpak the Flatpak is set up. Now what we're going to do is you can now install any Flatpak looking at, you can just go ahead and install them in your terminal easily. But I'm going to show you a couple ways. So we're going to go to FlatHub now. All right. So if we go to FlatHub, this is where we have the different apps. Now, there's going to be a couple of applications you can do. The first thing is, let's just suppose we want to grab, let's find something we want to grab. I have no idea what we want to grab. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to install FlatSeal. So FlatSeal is a management tool that I like installing on any of my systems. If you click this install button, it's not going to work because this goes to a Flatpak reference file. And the Linux Lite doesn't know how to do anything with that. But if you click the arrow button, this is the command you need to install it. So we're going to copy this, and I'm just want to show you that you can literally go to the FlatHub site, pull this down, and do this every time you need to install a Flatpak. It's going to work. It's going to be just fine. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, Flatpaks do usually take a little bit of time to download, so we'll go ahead and wait for this to finish. But I'm going to show you how you can set up a GUI installer as well. I just wanted to show you how you can do this in a terminal base first. Okay, so the installation is complete. So let's have a look at, sometimes you might need to restart or reboot the system in order to get the applications to show up from your terminal install. So we'll not worry about that right this second. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for another package. And this one is going to be Bazaar. Now, yes, we've covered this in the past. There is a little bit of controversy in it, but if all you want is easy Flatpak support, Bazaar will do your job. So we're going to go ahead and install this application. And effectively, all Bazaar is going to give you is a front-end GUI manager for all things Flatpak. So let's see if that one displayed in our system. It did not display yet. So I'm going to go ahead and log out of the system and log back in. I'll be right back, and then we'll show you what we can do from here. All right, so we just rebooted the system, and now you'll see FlatSeal's in there, and Bazaar is in here. So now we can boot up Bazaar, and Bazaar is going to start by refreshing the store content, but this will allow you to install and manage anything related to Flatpaks. Find Bazaar, right-click. I'm going to add it to the panel. Okay, we're going to unlock the panel. This will allow us to move our icon around. Going to move our Bazaar icon, put it on over there, and now we will relock our panel. So now we have our app store down there. And now anything I want to look up in here is going to be set. So let's look at, I think Audacity might be in here. So there's Audacity. OBS has a Flatpak to it. Anything that you can find now on Flatpak, you can go ahead and install right down here now through Bazaar. So now we have our Flatpak support inside of our Linux Lite system, allowing us to install anything in Flatpak to the system now as well. So hopefully that video will help clear up how to add Flatpak support, not just to Linux Lite, but really to any distribution. There are other package management tools that other addition to Bazaar. So like I like Warehouse. Warehouse, though, the reason I didn't use that is because it doesn't have a GUI searchable store. You can search for Flatpaks in Warehouse and install them, but you can't actually go in and see what is here. You'd have to know the name of what you're looking for or search for it. If you want to know the controversy about it, search up my channel for Bazaar. You'll see that. But as far as a functional system, it works just fine. So there is Linux Lite basic overview and adding Flatpak support. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.